playground, we debate. Critics talking, we relate. Hot takes, no, we don't wait. Spit the truth, we captivate. Show me what you got, don't hesitate. Critics playground, it's our fate. Talk the talk, don't you be late. On the stage, we elevate. Voices loud, we dominate. Critics bow, they can dictate. Bust a move, don't...
The changing workforce, challenges and opportunities for job seekers. Welcome to the latest episode of the Critics Playground Debate Review, where we tackle some of the most pressing issues shaping today's workforce. In this discussion, we break down the challenges facing entry-level job seekers, the impact of rising living costs, shifting hiring trends, and the evolving path to financial stability. As the job market transforms, will these changes create new opportunities, or will they make economic security even harder to achieve? The experience paradox. Are entry-level jobs out of reach? For new graduates and those entering the workforce, the job market presents an impossible dilemma. They need experience to get hired, but they need a job to gain that experience. Many employers favor seasoned professionals over entry-level candidates, leaving recent graduates struggling to secure their first role. Team Opportunity Advocates argues that the rise of internships, apprenticeships, and freelance opportunities can help bridge the gap. They emphasize that persistence and strategic networking can open doors, even in a competitive market. Team Barriers to Entry sees a system that is fundamentally broken. They argue that entry-level jobs have evolved to require years of experience, making it nearly impossible for new job seekers to get started. Without structural changes, they warn, this trend could lead to increased unemployment and underemployment among younger generations. Will companies adapt to support new talent, or will job seekers be forced to find alternative paths to employment? The cost of living crisis. What salary is enough? The financial landscape has changed dramatically. Over half of Americans now believe that an annual salary of at least $100,000 is necessary to be financially comfortable. Yet even six-figure earners are struggling to keep up. Rising costs in housing, healthcare, and everyday essentials have made financial security increasingly difficult to achieve. Team Financial Realist argues that the concept of a comfortable salary has shifted due to inflation and changing economic conditions. They emphasize the need for wage growth to match the cost of living. Team Adapt and Overcome contends that financial stability is still achievable through smart budgeting, side hustles, and long-term planning. They argue that while expenses are rising, new income opportunities exist for those willing to adapt. With inflation continuing to erode purchasing power, will wages catch up, or will financial comfort remain out of reach for many? Inflation's toll. How are Americans coping? Inflation is making it harder for families to save for emergencies or invest in the future. As prices rise, many are forced to prioritize immediate needs over long-term financial goals. Team Economic Resilience believes that inflationary pressures will stabilize, and that with proper financial education, individuals can still build wealth over time. They highlight the importance of government policy and personal financial literacy in navigating economic challenges. Team Crisis Mode sees inflation as an ongoing threat that is reshaping the way Americans spend and save. They argue that unless wages rise significantly, the ability to build financial security will remain out of reach for many. Is inflation just a temporary hurdle, or a long-term shift in how Americans manage their money? The homeownership dilemma, a dream or an illusion? Despite rising home prices and economic uncertainty, many younger generations still aspire to own homes. However, the financial barriers have left a large portion feeling hopeless about achieving this goal. Team Homeownership is Possible argues that while the path to buying a home has changed, it is still achievable through creative financing, remote work opportunities, and alternative housing solutions. They emphasize the need for financial discipline and strategic planning. Team The Dream is Dead believes that the traditional path to homeownership is increasingly unrealistic for younger generations. With rising mortgage rates, stagnant wages, and stricter lending policies, they argue that homeownership may no longer be the best financial move for many. Will homeownership remain a core part of the American dream, or is it becoming an unattainable goal for future generations? The shift towards skills-based hiring. Employers are moving away from degree-based hiring in favor of skills-based assessments. Companies are prioritizing demonstrated ability over traditional educational credentials, with many job postings eliminating degree requirements altogether. Team Skills over Degrees sees this as a positive shift that levels the playing field. They argue that practical experience and technical skills should outweigh expensive degrees, making high-paying jobs more accessible to a broader audience. Team The Value of a Degree warns that while skills-based hiring is promising, it risks undervaluing the broader knowledge and critical thinking skills that higher education provides. They argue that a balance between education and experience is necessary. As companies re-evaluate hiring criteria, will this trend create more opportunities, or will it introduce new barriers to job seekers? The urgent need for upskilling and training. With industries evolving rapidly, a major gap exists in workforce training and upskilling. Many workers are finding themselves unprepared for the changing job market, leading to calls for more investment in education and retraining programs. Team Upskilling is essential believes that the responsibility to adapt falls on both workers and employers. They argue that businesses should offer more training opportunities while individuals must take initiative in learning new skills. Team Systemic Change Needed contends that the current workforce system is failing employees. Without stronger policy support and funding for education, they argue that workers will continue to struggle with job displacement and economic instability. Will upskilling efforts be enough to keep pace with job market demands, or is a larger systemic overhaul required? Closing thoughts. The job market is evolving, and with it, the challenges and opportunities for today's workforce. From the entry-level job crisis to shifting financial expectations, inflation concerns, and the changing nature of hiring, the future remains uncertain. Will these trends lead to greater economic mobility, or will they create new barriers to success? Can workers adapt quickly enough, or will systemic changes be required to meet the demands of a rapidly shifting economy? The conversation is far from over. Share your thoughts, join the debate, and stay tuned for more discussions on Critic's Playground Debate Review.